I'm going to try to cover everything as quickly as possible. I'm going to start out here with my onions. This is the first year I've ever gotten bulbs off of my onions. They're still small at this point, but like I said, I've never gotten bulbs on my onions at all before, so this is progress and I'm pleased with it. It's starting to get hot here. We've already had a few days in the 90s. We had a day last week that was 98. So I'm not sure how long these onions will last in the heat, but I'm going to leave them in here as long as I can and see if those bulbs will get bigger. Here we have Daddy J's hot peppers. His Trinidad 7 and 7, chocolate habaneros, and bahoots. They keep flowering, but the flowers keep dropping. We haven't gotten any pods yet. We keep waiting. They're not in the full sun, so I think that may be why they're delayed a little bit. Plus, it's just a late year altogether. And we have a big boy hybrid tomato thrown in the middle. It was given to us, so Daddy J plopped him in there just to have a place to put him. And then we have my small bed of green beans. I've got 4 different kinds. We've got the Contender, we've got the Harvester, we got Bush Blue Lake, and I can't remember right offhand what the 4th one is. So we've already harvested a handful of beans off of here, and probably going to be coming through in the next day or two and taking off a few more. Not too bad for just a few plants. We made a meal out of it, and looks like we'll have another meal come off. Here we have those volunteer plants that popped up in the brassicas and we transplanted. I still haven't determined if these are cucumber or cantaloupe. I kind of think they might be cantaloupe. We'll see when they start to put off fruit. Then over here, as you can see, our brassicas, the majority of them, have survived. I'm not quite sure what it's going to produce, but at least they're growing and thriving at the moment. I have some onions here. These things have laid down since I transplanted them, and they never have stood up. Really didn't think I'd get anything off of them, but I realized the other day, after it rained, they are starting to bulb up. So I might get a little something off of these after all. And then we have the cabbages. We got the red cabbage, Red Express, and they're trying to head up. Got a tiny head on this one. Beautiful plant. I love the looks of those red cabbages. And then we have our white cabbages. They're heading up, most of them. It's again getting hot, so I'm not sure how long these will last in this heat. But we'll get some little heads at least. We'll give it some more time and see what comes of them. Our kohlrabi is starting to develop. Let's see if you can see it in there. We only have 4 or 5 plants there. Just enough to try it. We've never eaten kohlrabi before. And then here in the corner we have the black cherry tomatoes. We've got flowers. I haven't seen any tomatoes on these guys just yet. And then we have some black pineapple tomatoes. And then again we've got a couple of those big boy hybrids thrown in. We had 6 given to us, so we put them wherever we found space. And then here's some more brassicas. We got some cauliflower in here that hasn't started to head up yet, but they are growing. Maybe they'll produce. We got some turnips over here. We eat the greens. We also feed the greens to the rabbits. The rabbits love turnip and radish greens. Then we got some more of those onions that I transplanted. They're like the other bed. They never have stood up, but they are starting to bulb. And then here we have some broccoli, and supposed to have some Brussels sprouts in here somewhere. Got some broccoli that's starting to head up. Got a small head there. Down here we've got a pretty good size head, although it's not very tight. I'm getting ready to go ahead and pick it because I guess that's the best it's going to do. Last year it did the same, but we ate off the little side shoots almost all summer long, so I'm pleased with that. And then we have the Cherokee purple tomatoes back here. And we actually have a tomato growing. Ah, here she is. Got one little green tomato. So we'll be looking for that to ripen up. Turnips planted here, which we've already eaten. So in the empty space, I transplanted my Malaysian dark red eggplants. They're not growing much, but they're still green and doing okay. Hopefully they'll grow and produce. And then back here we have some black pineapple tomatoes. Again, no tomatoes on here yet. But it shouldn't be much longer because we've got flowers all over. And strangest thing this year, I have not seen any bees in this garden whatsoever. In this bed we have mostly root plants and lettuce. Here we've got some beets. We've been eating some of the greens. I've even picked a couple of the beets because I wanted some beets. They're still small, but they were tasty. And then we have our salad bowl lettuce, and we've got a lot of that. And then we have more beets. And then we have more turnips. And then here we have our black-seeded Simpson lettuce, which is starting to bolt, so we need to get that pulled out pretty soon. Then we have more beets, and then carrots, and then here's some radishes. We've had a lot of radish greens to feed the rabbits, and we eat a few of them too, but very few radishes. The radishes are just not forming for me. We have some cucumbers in here. Didn't plant too many last year. We had a bunch and we let them go to waste, so this year I didn't plant as many. But I do have little tiny cucumbers growing. We have some speckles lettuce that's getting ready to be pulled out. The okra's growing really nicely. Got a few more beets thrown in here. And then I have some eggplant. This is the Chinese ping tong long eggplant. This one's doing okay. It flowered. He's a little dry today. And then as you can see on the back row, our peas are pretty much done. We just picked our last harvest of peas off of here. Oh, looks like I missed one. We've eaten off of this several times. So today I'll be pulling these out and planting some beans in their place. And then we have our tomato bed. These are canning tomatoes. We have these 6 are, what are these 6? Oh, these are my mortgage lifters. No tomatoes yet. Lots of blooms. And then down here we have 6 Super Sioux and then 6 Silettes. And then we got 3 plants off in the middle that were volunteer, so we let them grow. Got them tied up. I used Bobby's example, sorta, for his trellis. We put a clothesline system up. I don't know if you can see the strings or not, but then we have vertical strings, baling twine, that we're holding them up with and just clipping them to the twine. So far it seems to be working. And then over here we have more canning tomatoes. These first 3 here are my watermelon beefsteaks. And then we have Amish paste. We have 6 Amish paste. And then we have 6 Homestead. And we also have 3 coyotes across here. So they're all doing well. Here we have our squash bed. This one here is a spaghetti squash, I believe. And then we have some straight neck yellow squash. We have some zucchini. We have some table queen squash. And then these last 2 poles is some round zucchini. First time I've grown them. Let's take a look at them. They're pretty interesting to look. Here's a good sized one. They're not ready to pick yet, but big enough for you to see. So I'm looking forward to that. Oh, trying to make this quick. And then here we have our pepper bed. We've got flowers on everything except for one of the paprikas. It was I lost one, so I had to replace it, so it's a little behind. But here on my Orange King bell pepper, I have a pepper pod growing, doing pretty good. And then down here on the chocolate bell pepper, I have 1 pod growing, and the rest of them don't have pods yet, but they have flowers, so I expect to see pods pretty soon. Back here in the corner is my green zebra tomatoes. In my last garden video I called these green tigers. They are actually green zebras. And you'll see the sucker that I stuck in the ground is still doing well. He never wilted or anything, and already starting to grow. In this far bed was the garlic, which we've already harvested, and I haven't done anything with it yet. We have 1 leek plant. Daddy J bought this at the grocery store and replanted it, and it grew. It's laying down now, but we're leaving it because it has gone to seed. So we're waiting on these seeds to dry out a little bit, and then we're going to collect them and try to grow some leeks this fall. Moving on to the buckets. These are my red potatoes. These are growing pretty quickly. It'll be quite a while before we get potatoes out of them, but they're growing. These are 3 cayenne pepper plants. We've already picked a couple cayennes off, and it looks like we'll have a couple more ready here in the next day or 2. Plan on drying those and grinding them up for some cayenne pepper powder. And it looks like I've got some jalapenos just about ready to pick. And then we have some cubanelles that I know these things get quite large, and I'm not sure how large, but this one here, I'm thinking it might be ready to pick pretty soon. That's what I call a pepper right there. The sweet potatoes are doing pretty good. They're still growing. They don't grow nowhere near as fast as those red and white ones though, but it's starting to vine out. We'll be having sweet potato vines across the yard in no time. And then here's my white potatoes. These have already gone to flower. And then we have Jessie's container garden. These are her tiger melons. They've already come up to sprout. These are her watermelons. And then this was supposed to be watermelon. And I only see one little sprout. So I bought her some more seeds for 33 cents so that she can put some more watermelon in there. So her cost is going to be up to 42 cents now. And her cantaloupe has sprouted. And she's got one pumpkin plant each bucket. I think she planted 4 and 5, but oh no, we got 2 sprouts in this one. Oh, she'll be excited about that. And you'll see we have an addition to the garden. Daddy Jay's putting in a rain barrel system for me. These are 55-gallon rain barrels, and the project's not complete yet. There will be 2 barrels here, and then we got 2 barrels up at the house to collect the rain. And he's got a pump system that's pumping it from the house to the garden. And then we got a garden hose there to water the plants with. Well, that's the July 1st garden update. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Thank you for watching. And as always, until we speak again, keep on growing.